And welcome back. Here we are. It is officially May, and we're getting closer and closer to the postseason. Thank you for coming back and taking a listen to me. I'm glad to be back. I know we took a week off last week. I did post a small video recap of some of the amazing races I saw at the Penn Relays. What a great meet that was. Very fun. Yes, it did rain heavily on Saturday, but still we were able to get in some good races. I'm pretty sure you heard of the new high school girls championship 4x4 pin relay record. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. In this video, we're going to recap more than just the new number one performances. We had six number one performances overall, but our leg format today, the first leg, we're going to look at the throws. We're going to give the throws some love early on because they have been killing it this year. And if you've been paying attention, which some of you have, you've noticed that. The second leg today, we're going to focus on the events that were on the track and that were non throwing. So we will include a jumping event for a certain NCAA champion. Our third leg, we're going to take a look at what I consider to be the best races of the weekend. And then our anchor leg is we're looking at the team title picture now starting to officially clear up. We've had some athletes return who have been out injured. So things should get really interesting. So without further ado, I'll get started with our first leg. And as I said, we'll start with the throws. And we had some great marks. And on the women's side, she's really kind of taken the reins, and that is Maya Lesnar of Colorado State. She is a former indoor NCAA champion, lost last year to Jada Ross, who has now moved on to the professional ranks. But Maya Lesnar has really kind of been the leader in the clubhouse pretty much majority of the outdoor season. And she just had a great throw this past weekend of 64 feet, 3 3/4 inches, or 19.60 meters. Great continuous season for her. She's transitioning from expectations that were put upon her last outdoor season to some, oh, she's still in the mix, but is she really still that one? And she's kind of been that one pretty much majority of the outdoor season. Indoors and outdoors is very different. Being in a venue and limited capacity can play tricks with the mind. Outdoors, you have the elements to contend with because it really doesn't get canceled unless there's lightning, meaning they will compete in rainy weather, cold weather. So outdoors is a really different monster, but this season it's really been Maya Lesnar or bust. She's been kind of the leader all uh, season. Now, moving on to the men's side, we have Jason Swearens of Wisconsin on the men's shot put. That's right, a Big Ten guy, not the SEC guy, Mr. Tariq Robinson O'Hagan from Ole Miss. It was the Big Ten guy to be our first outdoor thrower over 70 feet in the shot put. Again, Jason Swearing, 70 feet, 1.5 inches, 21.37 meters. Having a pretty good season for him. Did a pretty strong in the indoor season, but here he is outdoors, our first 70-foot guy. Again, for me, the expected champion is Tariq until someone takes him down. But Jason Swearens has been mentioned on this channel before because he's been a top performer before. So we shouldn't be shocked to hear his name. It's just an impressive throw this point in the season that he's reminding everyone I'm still here and I'm a top tier athlete. Also in the throws are Olympic medalist and world record holder Mikolas Alegna of Cal. We saw him not necessarily leave, but focus mainly on the Olympics last season, so we didn't get to see him win an NCAA title. I think he's, clearly the favorite to win it this year. He is an Olympic medalist and a world record holder, and the son of a former Olympic champion. He threw 233 feet, 11 inches, 71.29 meters this past weekend, and he's probably the most impressive thrower this outdoor season. Yes, Tariq has been killing it pretty much all year, but I don't think Tariq carries the title of world record holder or Olympic medalist. Mikola Selegna does, and so he's really kind of been the MVP in the throws, and I don't really see that changing because I wouldn't be shocked if he broke his world record again. He's been great all year long, and I'm expecting more from him again later on this season. Now, moving on to uh, the second leg, we're going to look at, on the track and then our one little jump performance. But on the track, we're going to look at the women's 200, and that's for Jasmine Montgomery of Texas A&M, formerly of Florida. Yes, she had transferred to Florida, I believe, after being at Oregon. And this is her third stop, and it seems to be her best stop. She's really looking like the super stud that she was when she was a senior in high school. 22.17 was her time, which would be 22.17. Yes, that is wind aided. Even if it, hadn't been wind aided, she likely would have still had the number one mark. That's how great of a performance she had. Up against great competition. I got to see her in person at the Penn Relays, as you can see in that picture. Things have gone very well for her at Texas A&M, and I look forward to seeing more of what she can do. This event is really kind of going through a lot of shifts. I mean, we don't know if Jamesha Ford is going to be it. She didn't win it last outdoors, but missing this past indoor season, not winning and losing it to India Mayberry, I'm pretty sure she's, fired up. But we have to throw a new name in the hat. Jasmine Montgomery's 22-17 says that I am a contender to be, reckoned with. She's going to have her name mentioned a lot later this postseason. And we're going to get a real good glimpse of where she stands against Jamesha Ford in a couple weeks when they go up against each other at the SEC Championship. India Mayberry has not ran since the early portion of the season and didn't even see her at the Penn Relays. Was kind of hoping to see her. TCU still looked pretty strong without her, so things really going well for Coach Edgar there. Is looking like we may not see India Mayberry this season. I don't know if she's injured or if she's gone pro. It's just been kind of silent there. I'm hoping that we get an opportunity to see her real soon. In the Also on the track, we have in the 800 another SEC runner, Michaela Rose, who no stranger to us. In the 800, 158.12. Yes, 158, and she looks solid running that 800. And Juliet Whitaker, a little bit off her her rocker. She's not been as consistent as we thought she would be, but the postseason is on its way, and so we may see her get back to where we're used to seeing her. Um, this is a clear NCAA lead. She has the lead by over a second, so I'm hoping to see Michaela Rose live up to that expectation. That there is an expectation that she's capable of winning an NCAA title. The SEC title, yes, I mean SEC is no slouch league, but I just feel that she's a full step ahead of everyone she competes against in that conference. I think it's the young ladies at Stanford. It's Grace of at Clemson for the ACC champion. It's Victoria Bossing of Harvard. So she's got some competition, but really I should be focused on her, and she really should be able to live up to the expectation of winning a title, especially with a time like that. 158.12 is not a slouch time. So I'm expecting more from this talented young lady, and welcome back to the top of the list to the young Michaela Rose. Now, to our one jumping event that we saw number one ranking, Amanda Mole. Last year it was all about Hannah Mole, her twin sister. This year it's all about Amanda Mole. She did break the NCAA record indoors. Not only is she over 15 feet, she could jump over 16, and she began her outdoor season this past weekend, jumping 15 feet, 7.25 inches, 4.76 meters. Not quite 16 feet, but that was after several meets. And there's no doubt in my mind she'll be there. She's so far ahead of the rest of the competition, not named Hannah Mole, that it's really kind of funny. I think she's the most odds on favorite to win an NCAA title of anybody in the country right now. She's so far ahead of the competition, not just with her technique, but her marks. She's just way ahead. And I don't think she's going to lose to anyone not named Hannah. And that is our second leg. And so moving on to the third leg, we are going to look at the best races on the track. And let's start on the men's side with Ethan Strand of North Carolina. Hats off to this young man, number 2 all time Ironically, number one all time is the NCAA record, but number two all time, Ethan Strand, 3:33:22 at the Duke Twilight. Yes, doing that type of time on your rivals track, that's some that's some disrespectful business. But Ethan is having a year. We've mentioned him several times on this channel. Him and his teammate Parker Wolf, who also didn't disappoint. He ran a 3:34. So, North Carolina is really arrived as a preeminent distance power. And I think they're here to stay. Hats off to the coaching staff for what they have done. This young man ran a very gutsy race at the Duke Twilight, and there was several young men under 335. I want to say it was about four or five of them. And he's, courtesy of that great field, he's able to put up the number two all-time time, 3:33:22. Putting that up now, it's like he's very clearly ready for the postseason. And he's clearly ready for an NCAA title. Let's just put that out there. And also on the men's side, we'll look at the 110 high hurdles that was conducted at the LSU Invitational. That was a great race. And hats off to Jaheim Stern of LSU. LSU having the hurdlers on the men's side too. He clocked at 13:35. He was able to have a lean over Jacoby Tharp of Auburn, who ran the same time, and also beat Damaris Waters of Florida, who ran 13:37. That is correct. You had four men in that field who ran sub 13:4 because I believe Sophia wasn't too far off at 13:39. That's how strong LSU is in hurdling on the men's side. But that was an incredible race. Four guys under 13:4 in early May. Waters, as we know, has that 13:2. He has the fastest win legal time in the country. But we're going to see all four of those athletes in a couple of weeks. The top five actually will all be competing at the SEC championship in a couple of weeks. That is insane. The SEC champion will clearly have the leadway heading into the NCAA championships and regionals also. And I thought it was going to be Jacoby Tharp, but Jaheim Stern looks ready. And Tharp ran right on him, and he hasn't ran a whole lot this outdoor season, so Tharp might just be warming up. So things are going to get pretty interesting in a couple weeks at the SEC championships. Wish I was here to cover it, because we're looking at a really good race lining up between that group. And then on the women's side, we'll remain at the LSU Invitational. We'll look at the 400, and we'll look at Kaylin Brown, who ran away with it in the 400. Not the number one time, but still a great mark. 50.35. Rosie Effiong of Arkansas, 50.66, her teammate. And then Vambayi Mays Voriwa. I might be butchering her name, I apologize, of Auburn. She ran 50.81. So you had a race where three women ran under 51 seconds, and it's not even a postseason race. It's simply just regular season. That's where we are now. Times like that used to win NCAA titles, whether indoor or out. And now we're to the point where those times, it's just another weekend. It's no major competition. And the best part is that they're all running again in a couple weeks at the SEC championships. SECs, I think, this year in this event, not only on the women's side, but on the men's side, it's going to go crazy. Deep competition, and I'm almost positive it's going to require a sub 50 performance, because guess what? Aaliyah Butler has already done that with her 49.44, and she's the clear favorite this outdoor season. But we can't ignore the greatness that is Kaylin Brown, because she still has the better PR. Now moving on to the 5,000. Ironically, at the same meet where we saw the men's mile, the Duke Twilight, you have a young lady, Grace Hartman, who I bet you did not know this. I met her in the elevator at the hotel I stayed at in downtown Philly. Literally showed her who my YouTube channel was, so hi Grace. And did not know she was going to go on to win at the Penn Relays. And here she is running a great race at the Duke Twilight in the 5K under 15 minutes, 14:58:11. A strong, solid time. And she ran it with her teammate, Kate Putman, 15:45:61. So NC State coming back with their great distance program. They've got two really strong 5K runners. They have a great distance program, as we are aware. And I think they're kind of making, their trek back to being the top or close to it. I still think BYU kind of has the reins right now, along with Oregon. But I think on the East Coast, NC State is coming back, and they're coming back in a big way. This was a great race and strong performance by her, especially in a weekend where we expected for it to be a little bit quiet. It wasn't, specifically in the distance events. I mean, again, we saw Michaela Rose lead the nation in that 800, but Grace Hartman's 5K under 15 minutes, you can't ignore that either. And now moving to our anchor leg, we're going to look at the team title picture as it clears up. On the women's side, I think that we've kind of known this for a while. Georgia, USC, and Arkansas are, to me, the three teams that will be vying for a national title. I wanted to do four. I still think that there is a fourth team. I think it actually might be LSU. But for right now, I'm saying Georgia, USC, and Arkansas are the battle for the women's title. And then on the men's side, I believe it is USC, Texas A&M, and Georgia. USC on the men's side does not have, a lot of cushion when it comes to non-sprints and jumps. We haven't seen their hurdlers outdoors. I haven't seen Johnny Brackens. I don't know if he's injured or not competing, but they haven't really had a threat there on the men's side to score at least. I would say that's their vulnerable area. They are extremely loaded in the sprints. They have a ton of 100-meter runners. They have a ton of 200 runners. Great group of 400 runners are going to be strong in the relays. They're great in the jumps and they're great in throws. So they've got multiple areas, but I don't think they're as versatile on the track as the number two team, which is Texas A&M, who I saw in person. And again, Ahmad Robinson was not playing around on that anchor leg in the 4x4. I'm pretty sure you heard. And at this point, he does it just to pick on the guys. I'm just convinced of that. That guy is insanely good. And he's a part of their strong team. He leads the nation in the 400. They have a very competent 4x4. They're great in the 800. They have a good 4x1, not a great. I think that's the area that they got to improve. And knowing Pat Henry, it will improve. They're strong in the hurdles, pretty solid in the jumps. And I think that their added contribution in the distance races gives them certainly more versatility. In Georgia, things going well for Coach Carol Smith Gilbert. Could she put off the double sweep? I think she's the most likely. At USC you got Coach Quincy Watts, ironically, who took over for her after she left, her former assistant. But I think it's really hard for anyone to beat Georgia women. I think they're the biggest lock. Arkansas is Arkansas, yes, but Georgia is insanely versatile. Sprints, hurdles, the relays, the jumps, the throws, and distance. They're literally all over the sport. They are literally the track and field team of Georgia, and they're clearly way ahead in their ranking of number one. Track and Field News had the form chart having them win by almost 30 points. So I honestly think they're a clear favorite. They're more of a favorite than I think the USC men are. I think Texas A&M, if everything falls right for them, can knock off USC. So those are my opinions on the team title picture. I think we are in for a treat this outdoor season. When it comes to the outdoor postseason, please like, share, subscribe, comment. As you can see, I do reply. I do have a very long pin relays video that I will also release later this week if technology will allow it. It's almost an hour, so it's going to take a while for it to upload. But it's all the races and videos, not just the collegians, but it's all the races and videos that I was able to acquire from the pin relays, which again was an incredible experience. And if you've not experienced it, I would encourage you to do so. Hopefully, think they can go back to adding USA versus the world because I think that's such a huge selling point. But it was a great meet this year, and this was a great weekend. We should have a quieter weekend this coming weekend, but you never know because some of the college postseason actually does start in the smaller conferences. The postseason will start this coming weekend, so we may see some surprising times. The regionals descending lists are being updated, so things are getting interesting as we draw closer and closer to the NCAA championships. But thank you for your support. Thanks for always listening. And I'll speak to you guys again in the next video.